Hey guys, it's Kat, and today I'm going to be talking about my newborn must-haves and the regrets. I'm gonna kind of have like a scale, so like the must-haves, regrets, but also like a middle portion that are like okay but not really necessary, and probably to each their own. Yeah, okay, the ring light and these glasses aren't going to work. So the things I think are must-haves or hits, whatever you want to call this. This also might be called hits and misses. We'll see. So before the umbilical cord falls off, I really love the kimono, either t-shirts or onesies, whatever you prefer, or the button-up sleepers. That way you don't have to worry about it getting like caught on the umbilical cord. And I know that like some people put like just the onesies that don't have the buttons over it. I got really nervous as a first-time mom, so I didn't use onesies when she had her umbilical cord stumped. And so yeah, and also you don't have to put those over their heads, and that's something I love about, well, any sleeper or any type of baby item, is not having to put it over their heads when they're young, because until they get like that neck stability, I know that it's safe, but it just makes me really nervous. I know some people, it doesn't make a difference to them, but to me it did. I'm pretty sure the kimono onesies that I got, they were long sleeve and had the mittens. And I loved those because they wouldn't scratch their face, it would keep their hands warm. And I would only recommend the mitten ones for if they're newborns, because as they get older, they're going to kind of want to use their hands to figure things out. And I'm pretty sure it's not recommended after a certain point to let them use mittens anymore. I just really loved the like kimono t-shirts or onesies that were long sleeve with mittens for the newborn stage. Even after she lost her umbilical cord stump, because it still just makes things a lot easier. She's almost 3 months and I still love the kimono type of outfits. Okay, so everybody recommended sleepers in every video that I watched. And although I do second that, I don't recommend these zip-up sleepers if it's colder out, because then you gotta unzip them to change your diaper, which exposes their like chest area. You could put a onesie underneath of it, just like a basic t-shirt kind of onesie, but that was just another layer that I didn't want to have to deal with. But yeah, I just prefer the button ones, even though they're a little bit more of a hassle. It really only adds a few seconds to your time, and I understand that like time is precious, but I don't know. I just would rather take that little extra bit of time than having her maybe a little cold. I really love the Halo like sleep sack swaddle things. And you don't have to get the Halo ones. That was just one of the ones that I liked. There's plenty of other ones that are probably cheaper. I really loved the muslin blankets for like everything. They can be used for tummy time, like just to put it out. They can be used as a backup for like a changing pad. It can be used as a bird rag. It can be used as a blanket, because it's a blanket. We put them in her car seat. We put one in her car seat at her feet to try to keep them kind of warm, because I don't feel that she's gonna suffocate herself with it. I sit in the back with her anyways, but they're like the one blanket I trust. Plus it's thinner, so I don't feel like she's gonna get too hot. So speaking of burp cloths, I really love the Gerber cloth diapers to use as burp cloths, because you get a lot more for a lot cheaper, because regular burp cloths, I don't know, I didn't like them. I feel like they weren't as absorbent, like with her spit up and stuff, and like just to wipe her face off, because she like drools a lot now. I just really like those. However, I think baby washcloths are kind of unnecessary. Just get like softer washcloths. Same with baby towels, because the baby towels I got were so thin that it's like now that it's getting colder, it didn't keep her warm enough. So I just prefer to use just a regular bigger towel. I guess for the newborn phase, if you get them, use them, but then after the newborn phase, I feel like it's just easier to use the bigger towel because it keeps them more warm. Or using like a thick baby towel. Speaking of baths, I really loved the, I don't know what it's called, it's like Summer Infinite, I don't know, but it's at Walmart, and it's this bathtub, this baby bath, that has a toddler side, an infant side, and then it comes with a newborn sling. and that made bath time a lot easier, and she enjoyed baths a lot more. And it was really helpful when she couldn't hold her head up, the sling. I would recommend to get at least one furry blanket if you don't end up getting one or have one in your house. But I will say, everybody says, oh, you can't have enough blankets. Yeah, you can. You can have plenty of all of it. Because you can find different uses for things. So say you do get the baby towels or baby washcloths, or you get too many blankets or whatever. Receiving blankets were one of the things I got a few of, and I don't actually understand the point of them because I would rather just use the bigger muslin one. They're like awkward sizing too, because it's like it never ever swaddled, and then I don't get the point of them. But you can use them for other things. Like, just because it's a burr cloth doesn't mean you can't use it for something else, or washcloth doesn't mean you can't use it for a burr cloth or blankets or whatever. I definitely recommend getting the footed with mittens, long sleeve, complete long sleeve, button-up sleeper. I really love the car seat cozy cover because I can keep it completely open so to make sure she will be able to breathe and everything in the car fine, but it also can cover her up and protect her from any weather. I don't know that I'd entirely recommend it for summer. Make sure your baby is dressed very thin if you do use it. And it also keeps people from touching her, or at least they're less likely to touch her, because some people just want to go and touch your baby, and it's like, no. Although I've heard that like some people will still open up the cover and touch them, and I'm like, it gives you more time to be like, don't touch my baby. Plus, I just feel like it kind of keeps her from getting like germs, because if someone sneezes or something, it'll get on the cover and not her. If snot or spit were to go flying. Everybody said that she'll grow out of newborns really quick, and that was not what happened. She was in newborn size everything for the first month at least, and I ended up transitioning her into 0 to 3 month clothing before she even fully fit into it, because of the fact that everybody said she'd grow out of it really quick, and so we had like no newborn stuff except for like what I got at my baby shower and a few other things. So that's not true for everybody. Every baby's different. Another thing I didn't get was socks. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't get mittens either, and I feel like it's because everybody was like, oh, you don't need those because they'll end up just kicking them off anyways, which is true. It's like, I don't know how people keep their socks on their babies or their mittens or anything, because mine rips all of hers off or kicks them off or whatever. But when you're getting socks, be mindful of the thickness of them and the weather. My summer socks were thick, my winter socks were thin, and I was like, well, this is great. And also be mindful of the actual fit of them, not the size, because I've realized the size is not accurate, like, at all. She had a 0 to 3 month outfit that fit like a newborn that fit like a 3 to 6 month, and then socks especially do the same thing. Also, newborn and 0 to 3 month tights were so hard to find. I don't know why they like barely exist, or if we just were looking in all the wrong places, but we struggled to find them, and a lot of different places have 0 to 6 month. I really, really hate when places do such a wide range of sizes. Like, I have so many 6 to 12 month clothing, and it's like, okay, well, is it 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? I don't know. I just find that very frustrating. And that's the same way for like adult clothing. I know that's very common, especially like different sizes run differently in different places, and different fits of them run different for the sizes. But it's just very frustrating for a baby, because I'm not going to sit there and like try everything on her. We got this 5-in-1 pack and play. I think the brand is like Urbani or something like that. I think you can get it off Walmart's website, but it came with the regular pack and play like setting, and then it can also have the bassinet setting, and then it came with a rocker that has like little animal things hanging down, but you can take them off, and then this like, it's not a mobile, but it's like a thing you stick on the side that is like for music. It came with a changing pad area, and like it has walls that come up on all sides of it. Not all the way up here, but on the sides, so like the baby can't really roll out of it. And changing pad, like, what's it called? Like changing area holster thing where you can hold the diapers, the wipes, everything. And that was a lifesaver. We kept that downstairs, and we had an actual changing pad area upstairs. And it made it so easy especially because for the first like month or two, we slept downstairs. We still kind of do. I recommend having some sort of changing area. Now, I really don't think you need a specific like changing table because we just stuck our changing pad on top of a dresser. If you are going to get baby washcloths, I recommend getting the bamboo washcloths. They seemed very soft, and that's what we use. The Gerber towels and washcloths were just so thin. Maybe get a bamboo hooded towel if you're gonna get a baby towel. I highly recommend having hand sanitizer everywhere, like in the diaper bag, or in your purse if you carry one, in the bathroom, changing area especially, just like everywhere, your living room, because that way you can be like, wash your hands or use hand sanitizer or both before you hold the baby. That way germs don't spread. The brand Little Remedies has like a newborn essentials kit, and I really recommend getting that because it really is the essentials for like medical purposes, and that was just really nice to have because you don't want to be out of something or not have it or whatever, and your baby need it then or at like 2 in the morning and then have to go to the store to get it. It just became very much so a lifesaver for us. I recommend having some sort of rocking chair to rock your baby in. That kind of does depend on babies because some babies don't like to be rocked or could potentially not like to be rocked. Any baby I know does, but I know my daughter loves being rocked and she likes being held a lot too. And the only way you can sit down holding her is if she's in a rocker or if you're rocking her. Speaking of rocking, the auto rock and play, lifesaver. That thing was a lifesaver. It doesn't really work magic, but that's the best way my daughter sleeps. I like the Wubbanub because now that she's starting to teeth, she can like bite on it. But when she was a newborn and couldn't really hold it very well, she still is learning, but it helped keep it in her mouth. And it helped me from losing it. Like, she would drop it and then we couldn't find it. She would like hide it behind her head and all kinds of places, whereas having a stuffed animal there keeps them from like completely hiding it when they're that young. The Soothie pacifier, I don't know what it's by. I know they gave it at our hospital, but that's the only pacifier my daughter will take. And I guess when I was a baby, I was breastfed. Like I never had formula, but that was the pacifier, the only one I would take as well. The Graco, it's like 16 motion swing with removable rocker. It's kind of pricey. We got ours from somebody we know, so we got it a lot cheaper, which is another thing. Anything you buy, try to get it used because I think it's called a depreciates or something in value after you buy things like that. And that's so true. So it's better to just try to get it used because most of the time they're used but like new. So I would look before you buy like big items like that. Obviously things like car seats and stuff like that, you're not going to want to do that and buy secondhand, but there are things you can definitely buy secondhand for a lot cheaper. I recommend playing music and or white noise. My daughter prefers music over the white noise. Most of her different baby items have that setting, but if not, you can literally just find it on YouTube and play it on your phone. Problem with that is the ads can pop up, and I've had that happen, or played like Pandora or Spotify, and I'm not paying to not have ads. Same with YouTube, I'm not paying to not have ads because, you know. Bandana bibs that are shaped kind of like a triangle. I highly recommend those because it helps with if they like drip formula down or breast milk or spit up or drool. That's worked so far up until 3 months. The 2 bottles that worked for us when I was breastfeeding, the Medela ones because for pumping, and for formula, I love the Advent ones. That's the only bottle that actually works well for us. They're just so easy. Same with the anti-colic ones or the natural, whatever preference you have. They're so easy. Like, they don't spill as much as the ones that I've tried, and I've tried quite a few. Like the Medela pump, I got it from my insurance for free, like, or with my insurance. I've seen where there's better ones, or like better sets. You could look into those, but really most insurance should cover the pump from what I've heard. There's these things that will suction to your boobs if you're breastfeeding. You could, and it will just catch the milk, not pump it out, but like catch the milk when you're breastfeeding on the other boob. That way you don't spill the milk everywhere, if that makes sense. Like you actually aren't wasting it, you're getting to catch it and to save it, to store it for whatever you want to use it for. And breast milk can be used for a lot of things. That's another thing. If you have the ability to breastfeed and it works out for you, or can potentially work out for you, I recommend at least trying it if you have the opportunity. Now, to the middle category, the section. I'm going to try to hurry through this because this video is already getting kind of long. The gowns that tie at the bottom. If you're going to get gowns, I recommend these ones, but my daughter would always kick her legs out of it. She just did not like to be in the gowns. She felt too restricted in them. But if you're going to want gowns, they're good. I just find that gowns in general do not work very well for us. The elastic ones will come up and then be on your belly and be uncomfortable, or for diaper changes. I just don't find them to be that much easier. If you want super easy and don't really care about your baby getting, like, if it's warm out or something, zip sleepers, or in general, I just think sleepers are better. So I got her a lot of baby bloomers, mainly for the look of them, but they're pretty unnecessary. You might as well just get pants and socks, or tights. I like them. If I wouldn't use them with onesies unless you do have the bloomers, which is why I got them. You don't really need to, but I just did it because, I don't know, I'll make them look all cute. Why not? But you don't need them. They're definitely not a necessity. Unless it's summertime. So keep in mind, my baby got cold out and my baby was a newborn. So that part was useless. So we had to put tights underneath. I found that there's pants that have feet in them, but my daughter has too short of legs, but a longer torso, so they don't work very well for us. But you also can't take the feet off of it if your baby is getting hot or anything. So, but if your baby fits into the pants well, I'd say that's a good option. Regular onesies, like just the ones that are like, you know, the t-shirt ones, a button at the bottom. So you know, I don't know how many people actually know this because from what I've found, a lot of people don't. But the reason that there's those little flaps at the top is so you can like open it. So you can slip it over their body and pull it over their legs and pull it up instead of having to go over their head, which is something that I didn't know either. And it's good to know because then you don't have to worry about their neck stability, like when you're trying to put their clothes on, like be scared about their neck. And if they have a soiled diaper, you can pull it down that way or whatever. So that way it doesn't have to go over their head. The Boppy Newborn Lounger. My daughter did not care for that. I had debated between getting the Dock-A-Tot or the Snuggle Me Organic. I wish I would have gotten the Snuggle Me Organic because I think she would have liked that a lot more. And that's mainly for naps and stuff. Like the Newborn Lounger, she used it a little bit when she was a newborn, but it doesn't last that long in my opinion. Like she grew out of it so quick, whereas the other things, they're way more expensive, but they're not going to grow out of them as quick. And she didn't care for it. But the reason I say it's an would be because if your baby wants to like sit up and not be laying like down like how you would with the Dock-A-Tot or Snuggle Me Organic, and you want them next to you like just chilling, lounging, then that would be a decent option for you. However, I just don't think it's a necessity. Normal baby essentials kits, like the ones that have like the brush, that stupid bulb snot sucker thing. I like a Little Remedy snot sucker, or just getting the Nose Frida if you're comfortable with that, where you like suck the snot out. I know some people think it's gross. Her dad won't do it, I have to do it, but I don't find it that big of a deal. But I really like the Little Remedies snot sucker. That thing works so well, and it comes in the Little Remedies essential kit. Honestly, that essential kit is all you need, plus baby nail clippers and a brush. That's literally it. The manual breast pump, where you have to like squeeze it yourself. That thing is good if you're on the go and need to be able to pump. However, it is such a pain if, like I got that when I was waiting for my insurance to cover the electric one. Such a pain. The electric one works so much more efficiently. Now for newborns, any activity mat for my daughter just did not work. She just did not care. She was so uninterested in it. Like we had the one that made noise, like the piano one that also has the thing over top with stuff hanging down, and she just did not like it. However, now that she's getting a little older, she does. So for newborns, I wouldn't recommend it. The Bopping Nursing Pillow. Obviously, if you're not breastfeeding, you really don't need this. But if you are breastfeeding, I think it's pretty good. I was so weak after having my daughter that I could not hold her up, and I wish I would have brought the nursing pillow because that would have helped me so much, like, to the hospital. The nested bean sleep sacks that are kind of like a little weighted or whatever. My daughter just, again, she didn't really care to be swaddled. If your baby likes to be swaddled, maybe it'd work well for you if they need to be swaddled and feel like they're being held. But they're kind of a pain. They're like more of a pain than normal sleep sacks, the way you have to put them into the sleep sack. So that's why it's an eh. I definitely don't think you need it. It could be potentially beneficial for a baby that likes to be swaddled and feel like they're being held. However, I don't know. They say that it's proven to help them sleep longer, but with how much of a pain it is, it was not worth it to me. Like, she did not sleep longer. It didn't make any difference for us, so. But it could for you. Lastly, for the would be the tummy tippy bottles. I think if you're breastfeeding, they might be nice compared to maybe the Advent ones, but they have the natural Advent ones, so I don't know. But my daughter just, she didn't care. She likes the Advent ones best. So, same with the Dr. Brown's one. We got the options one where you can take that piece out, but where it's like you can take the thing that makes it anti-colic out. It just, I don't know. I didn't care for it too much. It's bulky, like more bulky than a normal one. I don't know. She just didn't care for it as much. And the nipple kind of collapses on it a lot, which is something I like about the Advent and Tummy Tippy bottles. The nipple is a little more sturdy and not just collapsing on them. She's kind of aggressive with her eating. Now, to the misses part. So I already talked about gowns, but the elastic ones, complete miss. Would not recommend. Didn't work for us. Did not like them. They were a pain. Pass. A ton of elaborate outfits. For the newborn size, I just wanted to keep her comfortable. Maybe a few would be fine, but I would not recommend getting a ton of elaborate outfits, if any at all. I mean, maybe if you have a special event, like the holidays are coming up, so say you wanted to get them something for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is, or whatever holiday you celebrate, that would be fine, but like, I just think that elaborate outfits are just a pain for the smaller sizes. Even 0 to 3 months, honestly, depending on how quick they grow into the different sizes. Mittens. I recommend buying stuff with mittens already on them. Having to buy the individual mittens, like my daughter would never keep them on. It was easier to have the clothes that already had the built-in mittens, because then I could also take them off. And they were a lot easier to put on, in my opinion. The onesies that aren't very stretchy. So Walmart Gerber ones has the super stretchy ones and the not stretchy at all ones. I recommend getting the stretchy ones. I really liked the Walmart ones that were Gerber and the stretchy ones because they only had like the 2 buttons, so I didn't have to do much work with it, and it was super stretchy. So I felt like my daughter was comfortable in them. Whereas the tight ones, or like the not as stretchy material, I felt like she felt restricted in it. And honestly, I don't like wearing like super restricting clothes, so why would I put my daughter in it? The deluxe baby bath seat. That thing was just like useless for us. Maybe as she gets older she'll like it, but I just like the other baby bath. It's cheaper and it was a lot easier. This kind of goes along the same lines as the elaborate outfits. I got this super, super cute sleep sack. It was cactus and had a matching bow. My daughter hated being swaddled. She hated it. She broke out of it. And then I didn't put her in anything underneath of it because then I couldn't get it on very well. And it just did not work for me. And it was like expensive. Like, we got quite a few things that like she would wear once or whatever. They were expensive and completely unnecessary. Like, that's kind of how I feel with like baby Halloween costumes. I mean, as they get older or whatever, just do the DIY ones where the stuff you're getting can be useful later on. Again, to each their own. I mean, if Halloween is like your favorite time of year and you want to do that, I don't know. I find it pointless. But I also spend a lot of money on bows, and those have no benefit for anything. Like a hat keeps their head warm, and it can also be cute. Whereas like the bow, like it does nothing besides, in my opinion, make the outfit cute. And also it makes it more known that she's a girl, because I'm so sick of people thinking my baby's a boy, but they do it either way. So I already kind of talked about the towels and washcloths, but if you are going to get them, I recommend not getting a ton of them. Because really, we bathe her like twice a week, and we use like 1 or 2 washcloths each bath. And so if you only do laundry once a week, you only need 4. Like 4 washcloths if you wash your baby twice a week. You don't want to wash them too much. I mean, some people do. My baby had really dry skin, so we only bathe her like 2 times a week. That way it doesn't dry her out more, especially as it's getting colder. Unless she spits up all over herself, makes a mess, whatever it is. We just don't do it unless she needs it or if she sweats or whatever. But, you know, she's just laying there all the time, so it's not like she's getting real dirty. We got these weird, like, romper things that, like, zipped up, but they're kind of like sleeper rompers. It's basically like a short sleeve sleeper that's zipped, and those were a complete fail. Like, either get this zip up sleeper or don't, but do not get the ones that have, like, they were, like, so hard to get on and off. I don't even want to talk about it because they stress me out even thinking about it. I wouldn't recommend getting a bunch of clothes for each size. And I figured out from my baby shower that people do not look at your registry for the most part, and they get a lot of baby clothes. Another thing that I recommend is not getting a bunch of clothes for each size. So, like, we got a bunch of 0 to 3 month clothing. It was so cute for summertime. Well, she didn't fit into 0 to 3 months until it was fall, like way past fall, like deeper into fall where it's like cold fall, because in Ohio we have warm fall and we have cold fall. And it was like cold fall before she fit into it, so she never got to wear any of them. And a lot of babies do not grow on the schedule that you would think they do. I mean, some people will have a winter baby and people will get them like summer newborn clothes, and it just doesn't make sense. So it's okay to like kind of plan it out, but I really recommend not getting a ton of the same general outfits, styles for the size, because your baby may not grow the way you think that they will. I had a friend, her girls grew way quicker than she anticipated, and it was still like winter when they could fit in their summer clothes. So just watch it. The last misses, at least that I can think of, I'm sure there's so much more, but this video is so long, but the Munchkin latch bottles. Supposedly they're supposed to be good for breastfeeding babies and it's supposed to be anti-colic. They have 4 pieces, not including the lid. They leak. They are more of a pain to clean. The nipples collapse all the time, constantly. I hate them. I honestly hate them. Maybe they would work for some people, but my daughter hates them, I hate them, my family hates them. Would not recommend. I do like the brand Munchkin. I do not like those bottles. They did not work for us at all whatsoever. To conclude this, my advice is to just not get too much and don't get stressed out about the different material things, because a lot of the stuff that we actually needed, we just had to get as we went. And it'll be okay. Different things work for different babies, and cherish every moment because they grow so quick. But don't feel bad about sleeping. Like, get your rest as well, because you need to be able to function. If you're breastfeeding or in general, like I know the newborn phase is kind of hard because you're very sleep deprived, but you will get through it and it does get better. There is hope. Different things get harder, but in my opinion, it's still easier. Like, she's 3 months and newborn phase was so hard compared to like her being almost 3 months. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is not only like the newborn must-haves and regrets or hits and misses, whatever I end up calling it, but also a little bit of advice along the way. Bye!